Welcome to this month's video. Today I'm just going to do some random strokes on the page and turn that into some sort of sunset, I think. So I'm going to start with warm colours, so I suppose that's not random, but the strokes I make will be random and then we'll see where we go from there. Just before we begin, if I could just ask a simple request, 70% of you that watch this channel aren't subscribed. If you could do me a great favour of subscribing to this channel, it makes a big difference. It helps me to keep doing these videos every month and hopefully at some stage to start making them every week. That's what I would love to be doing. So if you could subscribe to this channel, I would really appreciate it. Let's get started. So I'm just going to wet the page, but I'm going to try and wet the page a bit unevenly. And to be honest, it's almost impossible to be completely random unless I was blindfolded, because I'm already thinking I would rather the horizon be low than high, and below the halfway line. So I suppose, it's almost never going to be random or completely random. I'll come in with a little bit of yellow ochre. I'll get a few different brushes happening, I think. I should probably just get my kids to do some strokes to begin with, because then that would be far more random. I almost find it impossible to be random. All the paints, paper and brushes will be in the description below if you're wondering what that is. So some of these paints I haven't mixed up very well, but that's kind of on purpose just to make things interesting. Like, it'll put a few bits of paint on there, but that's okay. Bit of cadmium yellow. So already I'm not being completely random. Let's get a little bit of alizarin crimson. Nice. What else could be interesting? So I'm just getting different hake brushes, because then I can leave them loaded up with that colour. It's nice, isn't it? I can sort of mix them on the page a bit if I want to. Get a bit of raw umber, that's always interesting. Bit of burnt umber. And that cadmium yellow is very nice. I really like this bit of light here that's been left. That's very nice. I quite like these bits of white here too, very nice. Could make a good part of a seascape. Bring in a little bit of this way. A little bit of cerulean blue. Probably not a good idea right at this stage in the painting, but I'm going to do it anyway. Right, I think what I'm going to do is just dry this and come in with another layer. We'll see how that all goes. It's interesting so far. This is a quick interlude to say if you would like some more help with your watercolours, you can join me on the Watercolour Landscapes for Beginners course. The link is in the description below and also up here, and I might see you in there. Right, let's keep painting. So you can see when you dry it, it just starts to come up on the edges because I've only attached it at the top. So it's a problem with sort of doing layers. I probably should stretch it, but I don't mind just working with what happens. It makes it probably more likely to have organic, interesting marks rather than being too stiff. We'll come in some more darks here. And I'm already thinking I'm going to try and retain this bit of light, I think, and head the eye down here, a bit more dark here. Make the subject kind of here. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm going to just wet as I go, and we'll just bring in a bit of dark here. Bit of dark across here. Get this. Another hake. Bit more dark. I might be ruining those beautiful colour beginnings. Anyway. Just going to remove a bit of that. Don't know why, just don't like it. Let's just... Get a bit of a dark. Just get a bit of a dark. Oops. Just fixing up a little bit of these blemishes. Get this hair out. Use the tweezers. Going to spray a bit out here, just a bit. Pop a bit of that in. Let's get a bit of this. Bit of burnt umber. Oh, jeez, I can't believe I just dropped that on the painting. Oh my God. Not ideal. Just going to get a flat nylon that can just jiggle that a bit. Anyway, that'll do. What was I just about to do? Yes. Just about to do some rocks here with a card. Fill that in a bit later. We'll see how that goes. Get a flat nylon. Just damp. Give it some edges. On the loop. Now we'll just get a little bit of colour happening. This rough paper is pretty rough, actually, of course. Spray a bit here. Might use some white paint at some stage. Some interesting colours here, which is not all working perfectly, but anyway, let's just thin this paint down a little bit, because that's how you get sort of beautiful colour, is with it not quite so thick. I'll just make a more solid line across here. It's a bit messy at the moment, like it needs a little bit more cohesion. Just lifting out a bit of a light. Just to make it a bit more interesting. Just bring that together a bit. Let's just bring this. Right, let's dry this and then we'll see if we can bring it together into an actual painting. Right, let's see how we go doing this. This might be a mistake, but I'm just going to add a bit of titanium white to the Cobalt Blue light red mix to try and make it a bit more opaque, and that should help it to, damn it, because what I'm thinking at the moment, there's just too many colours, which is making it not really work very well. But I really like this bit and I like this bit, so I'm going to work on this bit. Let's see how this goes. Grab that. That was a bit too much white. Cerulean Blue, so we get a bit of evenness happening here. There's a bit of Cerulean Blue. Let's just bring that in here. We'll just tilt a bit, get a bit of movement happening. I'm just smoothing out that edge. I quite like this Bit of light. Just want to not have too many white bits there. That's a bit better now. Adding a little bit of detail. Dry a little bit. Right, let's get our razor blade and start making some whites. Now I know some people don't like doing this, and of course you can use white paint, and I'll be using white paint in a bit. I like this because you can do lots of other things after this. Right, I'm just going to bring in a little bit of white here. Right, let's start getting a bit of white on the page, a bit of white paint. With my trusty fan brush. Going to get the toothbrush and flick a bit. I can also cordon off areas if I want to, so the flicking doesn't go everywhere. In some ways I'm kind of tempted to leave this as white paper and just adding a little bit of water because I want it to just I'm just going to stand back and have a bit of a look. There are definitely bits that I love about this painting, and then other bits that I don't. So let's stand back and have a look, see if I can salvage something from this. Right. I don't really want to make this video too long for you guys. Maybe I should make a part 2. We'll see. So now that I've stepped back, I want to join this in here. I want to dampen this down. I don't like this bit up here. Oh dear. This bit up here, it's almost impossible for me to fix that now. Because I've scratched the paper, if I start bringing pigment across here, it'll be absorbed in a different way, and this will become very obvious, and so I really can't do anything about that. That's kind of done. I'm just going to do a bit here, but then I'll soften it down. spray bottle. We'll just spray here a bit just to soften. Just going to dampen that down a little bit. A little bit more flicking going on around here. A little bit of spraying, just this rough paper is very interesting to paint with actually. It's kind of in some ways more difficult. If you're not used to it, which I'm not particularly used to painting with rough paper. I'm just trying to help this painting make sense and not have too many. I like paintings with not too many subjects. I think I would like this painting without this bit. It's a bit sad because I can't really do anything about that. Just softening that edge a bit. Let's just dry this. All right, I think that's the end of this. There are lots of bits that I really love about this. I love the sky, I love these soft transitions, I love this little bit of light on the horizon. I do love these lines, these leading lines coming in here. I like this softness here. I quite like the rocks. I just don't like this subject area here as much. But there's not a lot I can do about that, and I suppose it's all just learning really. Yeah. So thanks for joining me in this random, chaotic painting that was hopefully going to lead to a beautiful, calm, perfect sunset, but not quite. Let me know in the comments what you would end up doing with this to make it a finished painting or a bit better. I'm all ears. All right, thank you for joining me in this month's video, and I will see you next month for something, and I'm not quite sure what. So I'll see you then. Bye for now. Bye. Oh, and one last thing, if you would like some help with your watercolours, then I have a Watercolour Landscapes for Beginners course, and the link is in the description below. And one last thing is that with this paper not attached on the sides, you can see that it's all a bit buckled. The way I will fix that is I will take it off at the top once it's thoroughly dry, and then I'll place it in my drawers under some other full sheets of watercolour, and then let that sit there for a few weeks, and that will flatten it out quite well. The other thing you can do is if you ever get it framed, the framers will always have an ability to do that, to flatten it all out. So they have machines that can do that. So that's always worth knowing too. All right, see you next month. Bye for now.